Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Sister Tina here. Ooh, it's a cold one out there today, guys. Even though we're thankful that, no longer snowing, it's cold out there. So if you have to be out, please be careful. You know, um, there's still some slick spots, in our sidewalks and our parking lot hasn't been cleared, but I know there's probably some of us here in this building and also in another building not too far from us, they use the parking lot. But I'm hoping that, be careful, about, getting in and out because our street is, I wouldn't say somewhat clean. It got salt, but it's just not cleared. So, if anybody if anybody live on those side streets, be careful. Take it easy. Try to travel during the day rather than at night, because at night it will freeze over, and it's still gonna be pretty slick. So just be careful. Okay. Uh, First of all, well, I'm just resting now. I'm just taking it easy. I just not long got home from my trip to Mercy Neighborhood Ministries. Very nice people. A bit short, but it's not so bad today. I would love to show y'all what I got from there, but I think what I'm probably gonna have to start doing is showing y'all some strange stuff that I've been getting from certain food pantries. Cause I tell you, I come across some crazy stuff. Like hearts of palm pasta. Now, don't ask me how they made that into pasta, but it's kind of interesting, when you come across, certain food pantries and you see some unusual and weird stuff. Well, that's me. I always like to try something, a little unique and different. And, actually, I was the very first one there today because, as you know, it's below freezing. I know folks don't like to stand outside in the cold, which I don't blame them. But you know what? By the time I got there, I only stood for a few minutes, and then uh they let me in. Like I said, they're cool. They're good. So I'm just thankful to be able to be home. In the warm and stuff. Because I am definitely hungry, y'all. But anyway, next, I want to give a shout out to our minister, Brother Greg Jasper, and our tech ministry leader, Brother Marvin Lane, for a good job that they did yesterday on the virtual worship service that we had yesterday. I know many of y'all knew that all these churches here in Cincinnati and Indiana and Northern Kentucky, they had to shut down due to not just the snow but also the ice and the below temperatures. So they had to do what they had to do. They did, they did a good job. I'm thankful that that they decided, rather to do this, rather than go, to the church building where we know that it's probably, the parking lots are probably not cleared, and I'm not sure how Woodford or Red Bank Road is, sightly when it comes to snow and ice, but it's safer that they, did, start worship service at home. Now, I'm kind of glad that, you know, because I know during the pandemic, people talking about that they want them to start having services within the building. But at that time, there was that many people. You know, it's just, them and, probably some of the family members, a few members came out to support that kind of stuff. But, like if you come across, bad weather like this and, you know, on Sunday you just happen to figure out you can't, leave the house, that's your best choice. Now, some of y'all might not agree that, snow, ice, whatever, still going in for the in-person service. I'm not against in-person service. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not against that at all. I can tell you that now. But there are times like if, like I said, bad weather, uh, people getting sick, they can't be around people and stuff like that. They have to do virtual. There are some who are, shut in. They can't, get out, for like I said, illness or recovery from surgery, that kind of stuff. They have to do virtual, because God understands. He knows, He knows you love Him. He knows you praise Him, you worship Him, but that is good. Because, I mean, that's the blessing of technology, that we all must come together. Even though we can't be there physically, we all come together spiritually, So, that's why I said, they did a great job yesterday. And, can't wait to see them, this upcoming Sunday because of the weather. Hopefully it's supposed to be changing, to hopefully the fall that we all remember. Because all I know is that the 21st will be the first day of winter. But I guess you could say winter decided, to come a little early. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's a mess. But you know what? We'll get through it because Lord knows, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Make sure that you have what you need in case, the weather gets a whole lot worse. Because this here, what we're encountering now, is just a taste. A big taste of what's going to happen. Because it'll probably be worse. And I tell you, I'll be thinking about, when I was at the food pantry today, I'll always be thinking about, the homeless. I'm thinking about the poor, those who are struggling with, having food or having, something, to wear, that kind of stuff. That's the thing. Like me today, I'm glad I have on my leopard fur coat. It's faux. It's fake. So don't worry, it's fake. A friend of mine gave me it, and I'm glad she gave me that coat. That coat felt so good. It is so warm and everything. And I feel like, every time I wear it, I think that I feel like I'm wearing a real fur coat, but actually it's not. So I appreciate the sister who gave it to me. She know who she is. I love her, and I'm glad she gave me that, that coat, even though it was a long time ago. And I tell you, when you live in, way up north, even Canada, I know y'all be cold as heck, but y'all used to that, So, but I tell you, it's a blessing. I mean, really, even if you have to get out of the house and make sure that your family have enough food and have enough of what we need, because you never know. Just like I got notice from Kroger today, they tell me that my prescription's not ready yet, which, I understand. But I just want to, make sure that they got my prescription. So, when the time is right, I can go and, and pick it up maybe this weekend. Rather than, wait until it snows again and then it'll be, sorry guys, it'll be a mess all over again. You know what I'm saying? So I tell you the truth. There are times, we ought to be grateful. We ought to be thankful. Thankful for, the volunteers who took the time, to help others. There are the time that we ought to be thankful for the organizations, even if y'all have y'all SNAP benefits back on, like I said, still go to the food pantries no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know if another government shutdown will happen. Now, I'm not psychic or anything like that. I'm letting y'all know I'm not psychic. I'm not. If God want me to be psychic, I should tell let y'all know, when it's gonna happen, how it's gonna happen, that kind of stuff. That's being psychic. But I'm not a psychic. I'm not gonna tell y'all, what I predict. That's not the thing. I'm not the kind, that predict disasters. I'm not the kind that predict who gonna live and who gonna die. I'm not the type, to predict, what natural disaster is gonna happen. That's not me. what it said was happening in the Bible is already happening, slowly but surely, even if y'all not paying attention. But you know what? Even though things happen, what the Bible said it happened, let us be aware, that God is in control. It's not up to Trump. It's not up to his administration. It's not even up to us. That's his. That's him. He said, be still. Don't do anything. I mean, you can do something, but don't get in the way of what God is doing, for you. I guess you could say that. Just leave it in the hands of God. Whatever, you always do, continue to do it. But if God got, something in plan for you, don't alter it. Don't get in his way. Don't do anything. Don't mess things up. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so this is what I'm saying. So, but I'm hoping that y'all will stay warm, but if not, if you have to be out, be careful, be safe. And I'm about to get on here and make me some brunch. I'm going to enjoy being in this nice warm apartment. And maybe finish off the rest of my soup that I made over the weekend, and then I'm good, like I said. But also, most of all, before I go, I want to let y'all know that I'm offering my condolences to those who lost their loved ones this year, not just this month, but this year. I know it's hard. This is why I tell y'all why some of the reason why I don't like celebrating holidays, because of the memories and nostalgia. I still miss my mom. I miss Betty. I miss my mother-in-law. I miss, some friends, families who are no longer with us. Even some of my brothers and sisters in Christ who are no longer with us. I miss them. It's just different. When you see an empty spot, or just someone missing. Like at certain times, when I be at worship service, I'll be thinking about certain spots, where our brothers and sisters used to sit at, and this is why I say I miss them. I miss my family, both biological and church family, so much. But yet, I know that day will come, when we'll hopefully see each other again. But for now, like I said, I offer my condolences to those who lost a loved one, a friend, anybody, we're offering our deepest sympathies and pray that God would be with you, through this holiday season. I know it's hard, and you're not alone, okay? And also, please be among others who are famous, who have passed on. Rob Reiner. Now, I know many of us know Rob Reiner. He's the one that plays Michael on All in the Family, the one that Archie called Meathead. Well, he and his wife got deleted by their son. Now, hopefully tomorrow I will talk about that, because mental health is so important, but it seems like what's happening with families now is being slowly destroyed from the inside out. So I will definitely, hopefully, talk about that tomorrow, if not sooner, because there are times this needs to be talked about. This shouldn't, be silent or anything like that. But yeah, so this is what I'm about to do. You know, uh, this is why I said I'll be saying communication is so important. When it comes to family members, to what's going on. You know, we know we're Gen X, we're baby boomers. We, been through worse, but sometimes you never think and never thought, you know, that someone you love would delete someone. There may be a reason to it. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. That's just the thing. I was kind of shocked when I heard about that. Now I know him personally, but it's scary. It's real scary, guys. What's happening? You know. So, all right, yeah. Like I said, I better get on here and make me some. Well, actually, still breakfast time. I'm gonna make me something warm. So, hope y'all have a blessed day. Be careful. Be safe. I love y'all. I know y'all love us. Continue to keep us in your prayer. And hopefully, like I said, I'll be back tomorrow, Lord's will. Okay? Y'all take care. Love y'all.